Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther, the third. And man, oh man, I'm so excited to introduce my return guest to Dudes at Ringside. This gentleman was on the podcast before, and it was such an exciting time we had him on. And now I had to have him back because he just made his debut here in America. Let's give a warm welcome back to Jordie Sparkles.
Hey Joe, thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
No problem, man. Welcome, Jordie. Oh my gosh, Jordie, what has your been like your what has it been like since the last time we hung out? Like what's been up?
Well, obviously, it's a lot because I'm currently in Minneapolis. I've just come from New York, and just since the podcast, I've just been working my full-time job. I've just been making time for friends and family, and I've just been saving my money and just been, working really hard to, get to where I am now in America. So yeah.
Like I can't even say how proud I am of you, Jordie. So my first question for you, like second question kind of so what was your energy like the first time you went through the curtain at VPW like last week?
Uh, it was a mix of emotions. I was excited, but at the same time, I was trying so hard to fight my tears back because it was just a very special moment for me that I got to, just debut in America. Because there's that saying: if you believe in something and you want it to happen, you can make it happen, and that's exactly what I did when I walked through that curtain. I'm just like, this is me living my dream.
And when as soon as I saw you were coming to America, I'm like, this is gonna go big. As I said to you before, Jordie, I feel some really good stuff coming from you, and I know like this is not the start from you here in America, and I know that you're gonna get picked up by somebody. Someone's gonna see you and be like, "Yeah, can we have him come back?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
Well, that's the dream.
yeah. So for you, Jordie, is this like a dream to come here to live here in America, or you're just like passing through?
Well, my ultimate dream is to wrestle full time, but I don't know. I'm sort of just passing through because don't get me wrong, like being in America has been like absolutely insane, but at the same time, homesickness has been a bit up and down. Considering like all my friends, my family are back in Australia, and here I am, and I'm just like, oh, this is a bit weird. But when I was in New York, I had my uncle come with me. Yeah, he decided to come last minute to New York with me because he's like, I've never been to New York. I want to come with you. So that was good. But then once, our 2 weeks in New York were over and I landed here in Minneapolis and was in my hotel, the homesickness did hit me a little bit. But then, I do what I always do. I went on FaceTime. I called my parents and they basically just said, this is what you've worked so hard for. We are so proud of you. We're only a phone call away. And just knowing that, I've still got that encouragement back at home and realize that, I know why I'm here has just made me realize that I am stronger inside than what I really think I am.
Yeah. Like that's like the most important part. When you're coming to a country you've never been to, you always have to go to like a certain place in yourself that makes you feel like you have to be, and you like make yourself like think of something that makes you happiest the most in a certain situation. Like when I first started this podcast with my former co-host, when we would go live, in my mind, all I could think is, how would my grandfather react when he was on TV, when he was doing the WWF shows?
Yeah.
Where do you go? What part of your brain do you go to? The happy jolly part, like the first candy bar you ever got? or do you go to the kid that's hiding in the corner looking at you eating the candy bar? Like, which kid do you go to? Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, well, like I said, with the support that I have, I wear a wristband that I wear because obviously I've got a counselor back in Australia that I saw prior to leading up to America because I've been to America. This is my third time coming to America, but that was mainly with my family because we would do like Disneyland holidays and all that sort of stuff. And I basically just said, this is going to be a big deal for me because I'm gone for all of May. I feel like I need to, get some help just to mentally cope if homesickness hits me. And yeah, the wristband that I was given is just that reminder that, this is my dream to travel America. And at the same time, it's also a holiday from my full time job.
It's like, yay, vacation. Now I got to keep myself centered.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and like you say, you just got to realize that life is a gift, and me being here is a dream come true because it wasn't easy. And if you just think into something too much that's negative, it becomes a thing and a lie in your head that goes from small to big. And what I've really discovered is that when I step through that curtain, it's like this is what I've worked so hard for since day one. Here I am. Enjoy the moment because great things in life don't come easy.
yeah, you got that right. So,
Yeah.
since you've been in here in America, have you been watching any of the talent, male or female here that you're like, wow, I should definitely have these people come to Australia. If you want to, when you were here, you thought of like, maybe I should challenge this person. Like anybody you've watched so far?
Well, obviously when I was in New York for that show at Victory Pro, my uncle and I caught the train from our hotel to the specific station. It was called like Ronkonkoma Station. It was a bit of a tongue twister, but I think I got it right.
Ronkonkoma, yeah, the Ronkonkoma station, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got picked up, and there was a girl in the front seat of the car who was also wrestling. Her name was Brittany Brooks,
Oh no,
and
Brittany, yes.
oh yeah, she was an angel. Absolutely loved her. And yeah, we had a lot in common when it came to talking about wrestling and where we start and where we want to be in the future. And her and I became really good friends. And the person who I worked with, Jack Tomlinson, he was great, and him and I were talking literally not long ago. So yeah, those two, were really great with me in the show. And yeah, it's just what more could you ask for when you
Yeah,
come from the land down under and not know anyone, and then you're just treated with so much love and respect and support and feeling so welcomed? But don't get me
that's
wrong, everyone else on the show were just so beautiful to me and my uncle. But majority of the night, I spent the time with Brittany and Jack.
that's the most important part. Like that have somebody that's like you that's not from the area and they just welcome you in. Like Brittany, she's from like the West Coast, like the Arizona area, and she was like an outsider like you. And then you get like your opponent, Jack Tomlinson, that's from the area. He just welcomes you right in. Boom! It makes you feel like you're like right there, part of the crew. Like that's the most
Oh
important
yeah,
part.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what you want, especially in the wrestling business, because whenever I wrestle, I always like if I'm like going somewhere that I normally wrestle or I'm debuting somewhere else, I always want to be my kind, happy, true, loving self to those people. And at the same time, just know that we love wrestling. We're here to have fun and just keep pursuing our dreams.
What while you were at VPW, did you like take any advice for from any of the wrestlers that you didn't hear before?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how when you see an older wrestler, you ask them a question about like how they do this and that?
No, not really. I mean, if anything, Jack and I just had a clean, solid match, and then if anything that I got from the blokes backstage was just had what's this in Australia like? What's this and that like? So it was just pretty much just normal conversations the whole night with everyone in the locker room. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward, and yeah, the night just couldn't have gone any better from my point of view.
Yeah. Oh, I saw something on one of your pictures. You had your first experience with New York pizza. So, what did you think?
Oh no, that's actually like my second experience with New York pizzas. Yeah, because when I was in like the 8th grade, I came to New York for a holiday with my family, and that also was along with the Disneyland, but it was so long. But I do remember how big those pizzas were. Just yeah, they were just mwah.
Yes, see, everybody brags, but if you never had your life on New York pizza, there we go.
I know,
Like,
and they were super cheap too, so that was a huge bonus. The pizzas back in Australia are like that. The ones in New York were like I can't even fit in. Hold on, I'll do it this way. The pizzas in Australia are like that big, and the New York ones were like
you missed the boat on one part, Jordie. Like, if you went to Hoboken, there's a slice that's about like this big.
I reckon I'd eat it.
Yeah, I ate that like a pit bull found a steak. I was like, oh no, like I ate it like in 20 minutes,
Mm.
30 minutes. I ate it. I was like, man, yeah.
Yeah, they were delicious. Like if my uncle and I in New York were lazy and we're just like, well, I can't be bothered going dining out and going to a nice place. Let's just get a pizza. And it was really just one piece, and then boom, we were full, and then we went to bed.
Yeah, it's like the little kid. I'm not hungry anymore, mom. Boom, bedtime. So
Yeah, well, just prior to that, we were up at like the crack of dawn, and we were walking the whole streets of New York for literally the whole day. So we were pretty knackered.
oh wow, that's it's pretty good that like you got a chance to like check out different parts. Like, what parts of the city did you actually get to?
Oh, we literally did everything. So our hotel was in Times Square, and that was amazing. But what my uncle and I didn't like is that we had people shoving like things in our face, saying "buy this, buy that," and we had to ignore them. And then they kept following us, which was annoying. But at the end of the day, what can you do? But other than that, like Times Square was insane before, like the TVs and the buildings and stuff. But yeah, like we did like Brooklyn Bridge, we did Statue of Liberty, we did an 8-hour bus ride back to Niagara Falls, and we did Broadway. Like the list just goes on and on and on. And like, yeah, it was amazing. But one thing my uncle and I couldn't resist after every day was a margarita by like the water when the sun
Of
was out.
course, of course, you got to get a margarita by the water.
Yeah, and funny thing, because like my full time job is pretty full on. I was tapping out leading up to my last day before I flew up to America, and my uncle's retired. And as like we were having our margaritas and the sun was down, like I can't remember the last time I ever felt so relaxed. And I asked him the question: "Is this what being retired feels like?" Because
Oh,
it was. I honestly can't remember the last time I've ever been so relaxed in my life. To just
that's
not
yeah.
to just not think about reality.
That's the thing. Like when you're retired, you're just like, yeah, I have to do tomorrow. Oh, my calendar's empty. I got nothing to do.
Oh yeah,
So what?
majority of the time, my uncle just spends time with his puppies. And
That's the best friend you could have in your whole entire life. A dog, you know.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, do you have you ever, like do you have any like thoughts of like any like where like your next the location you are now? Have you been like checking out any of the wrestlers on the roster that you're going to be wrestling with tomorrow?
Um, pardon me. So last night I landed in Minneapolis. So I came from New York, and the owner and booker of the promotion that I'm wrestling for, Midwest, picked me up from the airport, took me to my hotel, and him and I sat down together and we had dinner at the steakhouses, which was yum. And yeah, but then we had to call the ambulance into the street when he saw what the bill was.
Oh, jeez.
I had to throw that joke in there, but we basically just talked, and he basically just said, these people are probably going to pick you up from the hotel. This person, that person, are looking forward to meeting you, and it's a kind, welcoming locker room. So, if anything, I'm just going to do what I did with VPW, where I just show up at the venue, shake everyone's hands, introduce myself, and yeah, just go from there.
Awesome. Jordie, I'm like so proud of you with this. I can't even explain how proud I am of you. Like when I saw you in New York, I was like, dude, that's cool. He's living his dream right now. He's in New York City and he's doing the wrestling thing. And like, it's just cool. I'm just so happy for you and everything you debuted, the city that I love, the city that they named twice. And like, it's just awesome. Like after Minneapolis, is there like any other place you're going to?
Yeah, so after Minneapolis, I'm going to New Jersey for Warriors of Wrestling. And then after that, I'm going to Chicago for UPW, which will be my last show. And then after that, I'll be flying back home to the land down under.
Oh wow, wow that's sad because I'm trying to go to another promotion that's in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, oh man, he's not coming, oh man. But maybe one day, one day.
Everything always works out.
Um, do you have any merch yet? And if you do, where could my fans find it?
Just get them to give me a direct DM. I have a T-shirt logo of like me doing the splits and all that sort of stuff. So if anyone wants merchandise, as I say to everyone back in Australia, if you want a merch T-shirt, just DM me. I'll print it and then I'll have it mailed to your address.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordie, for coming on the podcast. This was amazing, and I'm so proud of you. Keep up the great work. Nothing but the best in all your upcoming matches. I'm
Thank
Joe
you.
Panther. You're welcome. I'm Joe Panther the third. Your turn.
And I'm Jordie Sparkles, the King Assassin from Australia, who's touring USA. So don't miss any of my shows because it'll be a while until I come back from Land Down Under. Did I
And
nail it?
and we will catch you in the next one.
I'll
Good
take
night,
that.
everybody.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes.